has been disappointing and was my not hot. What do you think, Jono, about the Travis Cloke situation? It's got to the stage now where Collingwood have said all negotiations are off till the end of the season, and that is probably an idea to try to take the focus off Travis and the club and obviously focus on the football. What do you think about that?
The distraction has come for Travis Cloke, his form. Everyone knows about how he's been going with his football, but the distractions for the whole club and the players, in every interview they go into, they've always asked about Travis Cloke and how that's going, and then that puts pressure on them, having to maybe front him at certain times throughout the season as well. So I think the right call has been made, but questions are still going to be asked right through to till the end of the season. And now, when that final whistle goes for Collingwood's year, the focus goes straight back onto Travis Cloke and where he's heading. I think it's acceptance that it's really impacting him and it's impacting the club, as the players, as you're saying. But I think we haven't stopped talking about this for 6 weeks.
No.
Does this make it closer to him signing, or does it push it further away? Does it attract other clubs? Now does Fremantle say, hang on, there's a real wedge here. We can go after this. This could actually help us attain Travis Cloke. I think that, you know, it really puts the focus on the Melbournes and the Fremantles right now. Yeah, I reckon you're spot on. I reckon the focus now is going to be extreme on Travis Cloke. The fact that there is an issue. They've had to put it off because it's impacting his form. I'm sure that at the end of the day, he's going to sign. But now it's got to the stage where there is going to be the time for other clubs to get in and get involved. There's probably offers on the table now. But I think he just needs to sign. He's got a fantastic offer from what we hear at Collingwood. He doesn't want to be going to another club, I'm sure. He's at a fantastic club now that still has a great opportunity over the next few years to win some more premierships. Well, and he's come out himself and said that he has had a big offer from the Fremantle Football Club, and so he's obviously weighing that up. It is playing on his mind in terms of the way... And you hear Nick Maxwell come out today and talk about how he's still working hard at training. He's still doing all the right things. He's a professional player. He's a very good player. He should be doing that anyway, but it's just not translating into the 2 hours, which are the most important in a week. That offer comes off the table, Lynchy, and let's just say it's $700,000 a year. The next offer that comes on the table, will it be the same? Will it be reduced? Will it be based on his form of 2012? Where will it go from here in terms of what Collingwood offer? We know there's other offers out there, but I think that the offer might actually decline. It would be a massive call by Collingwood to actually reduce the offer. I mean, certainly he's not playing at a high level at the moment, but he is very important, and we'll talk about important players in particular clubs later on, but he is very important to the premiership hopes of Collingwood this year and in the future. It would be a massive call. If they pulled it back, I reckon that's a big green light for Travis to start looking elsewhere. Well, they've got to inflate the price for players like Reid. We know they've just signed Beams. There's about half a dozen players down there they're looking to sign up. Yeah. They're going to expect now, with Travis's deal to be put on hold for them to get proactive with those. We heard about Ben Reid today, that he'll probably sign the next couple of weeks, at least a 2-year deal. So I think that'll impact Travis's offer. I've got no doubt about that. But this is all about the coaching staff, mainly Nathan Buckley, and also the playing group, so they don't have to answer questions on Travis Cloke for the remainder of this season, and they can just purely focus on where they need to go as a group. Well, they're going to have to answer questions over the next couple of weeks, there's no doubt about that, because as we know, some of the really good clubs, to keep those players together, and this club's been up there for a few years now, you have to take less. Now, Travis obviously knows he's got to take less. He knows that it's going to be a very different environment if he goes to another club, gets a few $100,000 extra, which is a lot of money, but it gets a few $100,000 extra, and if his season's over by August each year, that's a very different environment. I mean, AFL footy is fantastic when you're playing finals every year. Very, very different when you're outside the 8. Got some issues, the Pies. Got some real issues, I think, down back. I want to have a look and get your thoughts on Heath Shaw. He's been tagged the last probably 4 weeks with great effect. Carlton, I think, started the ball rolling with Armfield a few weeks ago. Here he is here. And you've got Lewis going to him. You can just see him going back to the square. Now, I know that he's gone across and picked up Gunston, but Lewis is still staying in that area there. You can see high ball comes from the centre clearance situation, comes in high, just there. Normally, Heath Shaw would leave his man and he would come across and drive the fist through that pack and diffuse that situation. If it was Maxwell, he'd do it. If it was O'Brien, they would do it. I just think that he's been mentally scarred by having a player opposed to him week in, week out for quite a while. I think it's concerning him now. I think he's actually playing within himself. He's worried about his direct opponent impacting the scoreboard, and it's starting to play some tricks on his mind. Which is a change. I remember playing on Heath Shaw a fair bit in the latter part of my career, and exactly that. In that situation there, yes, he'd put body on you, but he'd time his movement, he'd make that contest, and even if he didn't get there, he was first one on the ground, and he's rebounding out of defensive 50 and puts pressure back on the forward. So then the forward's second-guessing. But at the moment, in that situation and a number of others, the forward is dictating the contest against Heath Shaw when it's normally the other way around.
Kingy, from your experience, obviously a running half-back in a very successful side, similar to Heath Shaw, you know yourself that if you get a couple of goals conceded early, you've got to get the arm across and really shut the player down to start with.
That was most weeks, Lynchy.
Yeah, right.
Concede a couple early and see how we go. But look, I think their whole back six have got problems. And I just want to show some vision here. They just look unorganised at the moment. They did on the weekend against a small forward line in the Hawks. Let's have a look at this here. You can just see Reid goes off the ground here. You can just see him going through the interchange bench as well as another Collingwood player there. Look at the back six here. There's no reorganising. There's no one says, look, I better come down and get Roughhead here. Hawthorn win the ball back across the half-back flank. There are 4 Hawthorn players forward of the last Collingwood player in their forward line. Now, we know how good Hawthorn are with their ball use. We know it's pure and we know it's quick. But just have a look how much time and how much space a player like Jared Roughhead's got inside his forward 50. There's no communication. There's no one looking around and doing the reorganising. That's something I've never seen from Collingwood before. They are the most organised back six in the competition. Eventually the ball comes in, outnumbered at the 4 of the ball there, 4 versus 3, now 3 versus 2, the simplest of goals. It's just a lack of communication. Here's another clip, another example for you. This is all in the second term, so early in the game. You've got Harry O'Brien versus Cyril Rioli, and again, I think we've got Gunston and Reid there. Collingwood win the ball, they go forward. Now, we know in the past they've pressed right up and they've tried to lock that ball in here. But just for some reason, they drift. They start drifting up the ground. They leave Cyril across the half-forward flank. Now, Hawthorn, as we said, once they win the ball back, can play incredibly pure football. Just Harry pushing right up the ground here. You can see there's nearly 60 metres separation between Harry and Cyril on the half-forward flank there. Now, I keep saying it, one of Hawthorn's strengths is their ability to go coast to coast very quickly by foot. Right now, there's no communication. You can see Heath Shaw there on the side there. He's trying to call Harry back. I'm not sure he can speak Spanish at this stage, Jono, but there's 3 forwards there versus Heath Shaw. He is gone. He is in trouble here. You can see 2 kicks and they're out of their back line. Heath tries to win that ball back himself because that's their only hope, and they stroll into the easiest of goals, all because I think there's been no communication and no real care about what's happening to your teammates around, and I think it's a legacy of being tagged.
Well, you look at the first one, and even Nick Maxwell got caught up the ground and just jogged back. He didn't come back with any urgency until he needed to go near the goal square, was never going to get to Bruce. And the second one there, you can see even this week when they play GWS, they'll probably do that again because they know the defensive pressure in the forward line. GWS won't be able to hit that target going out. So Harry O'Brien playing up the ground, all of a sudden he's kicking that big goal that he likes to do running through forward 50. But against the elite kicking teams in the competition, they need to readjust a lot quicker because you can see what happens.
Absolutely.